This is the Uke Revolution. I'm Brooke, and you're watching a lesson for the Amy Winehouse song, I Heard Love is Blind. In this lesson, I'll show you the chord shapes, and I have a lot of alternative, substitute, variation chord things because there's some tricky chords in this song. The good news is we're just using a down strum, so while the chord shapes are a bit tricky, there's nothing complicated happening in the rhythm. I'm going to put all of the parts of the song on the screen, the chord structure, the chord pattern for them. And I'm going to put the whole song with all the lyrics and the chords over the lyrics on the screen as well. And I will play the whole thing if you want to play along with me. There is a song sheet for this song. Everything that you see on the screen today is taken directly from the song sheet. It's available in the Uke Revolution member library. There's links for information about the membership program in the caption below, as well as a link to how you can purchase just this one single song sheet. So here are the chord shapes. Don't panic. Also have all these chord substitutions and things for you available too. So we're going to get through it. These first three chords have the same shape essentially, and we're going to play them together in the song. D major 7, we're barring the 2nd fret and put one finger on the A string of the 4th fret. The next chord, C sharp major 7, you're just going to move that shape down 1 fret. So we're barring the 1st fret, and we have the A string of the 3rd fret. C major 7, if you use your ring finger for the C sharp major 7 chord, then you can just drop your middle finger onto the 2nd fret A string, and then this is a C major 7. And then we have B7 sharp 5, a little plus sign means sharp. You might also hear it called augmented 5. You can bar the 2nd fret, and then you can put 2 fingers on the middle 2 strings of the 3rd fret. Can we use B7 as a substitute? I actually didn't check when I was making the arrangement. We'll check later when we're playing with the lyrics and see how it sounds. But I do have 2 other shapes for B7 augmented 5. As you can see here, another B7 plus 5 or augmented 5, 4, 3, 3, 0. I'm going to put my peace sign fingers on those same 2 middle strings on the 3rd fret, and then my ring finger on the G string of the 4th fret. So this is 4, 3, 3, 0. The other one, a really weird stretch, but it's only a 2-finger chord. I'm using my pointer finger on the 3rd fret, the C string, and my pinky on the 7th fret, the E string. So it's up to you. You got to pick which weird squish that you want. E minor 7 and E minor 7 flat 5. So these kind of come together as well sometimes. We have E minor 7, just the 2nd fret, C string and A string. And then from here, you can just move your middle finger down to the 1st fret, the A string. But if you can't really manage that, then you can switch fingers. So you got the 1st fret, the A string, and the 2nd fret, the C string. Whenever you see a minus sign in a chord name, it means flat. So you might also see that little B shape flat sign, E minor 7 flat sign 5. For this chord, that's the same thing. It's the same kind of chord. E flat 9. E flat 9 is the 1st fret, the bottom 3 strings. You can bar it or you can use 3 fingers. A7. F sharp minor 7, this is the shape that I like to use. It's the same shape as a D minor 7 if you're familiar with that chord, but we're going to build it on the 5th fret. So on the 5th fret, the E string, the 6th fret, the G and the C string, and the 7th fret, the A string. E7 and B7. I also like to play E7 as a bar chord on the 4th fret, so that's the 4th fret, and then you have the A string of the 5th fret. Some other chords in the song that we need, we have F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So this is the pointer finger on the 5th fret G string, your middle finger on the 6th fret, the C string. And I have some other substitutions for that chord I'll show you in just a minute. G add 9, we're going to bar the 2nd fret and put your middle finger on the 3rd fret, the E string. 2, 2, 3, 2. So here's some possible chord substitutions if you want to simplify things a little bit. So if you don't want to play F sharp minor 7 flat 5, you can play F sharp diminished instead. That is 2020. This is also known as the Hawaiian D7. You may know that shape as Hawaiian D7. And if you want to play an F sharp minor instead of F sharp minor 7, you can do that. F sharp minor is the first fret, the C string, and the second fret, the G and the E string. Okay, them's all the chords. So here's verse 1 and verse 2. It's pretty much the same thing until you get to the last few bars here at the very end. So the first line, we're playing the same thing. So in between all of these forward slashes are 4 beats. And every time you see a chord name, it represents 1 beat. A hyphen represents 1 beat. If you see a chord in between 2 forward slashes on its own, it's the whole bar. It's all 4 beats. So we have D major 7 for 3, C sharp major 7 for 1, and then C major 7 for 3 and C sharp major 7 for 1. And then we're back to D major 7. So what we're doing with these 3 chords, we're on D major 7. I'm going to move down to the C major 7, and then I'm going to move back up to the D major 7. And we're using that C sharp major 7 as a passing chord. We're going from a higher set of pitches to a lower set of pitches and then back up. After that, we have F sharp minor 7 flat 5 for 2, a B7 augmented 5 for 2. Then it gets a little bit easier for the rest of that verse. We have E minor 7 for 4, E flat 9 for 4, and then we're back to D major 7, and we hang out there for 8. So I'm going to play this whole verse slowly with just a down strum. That's all we're doing today is down strumming. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, C sharp, C, C sharp, D, weird F sharp, B7, E minor 7, E flat 9, D major 7. Verse 2, we're doing all that same stuff, but when we get down here after the E minor 7, we're playing E minor 7 flat 5, then we have D major 7 for 4, G add 9 for 2, and A7 for 2. So I'm going to play just this last line because that's the only thing that's different from verse 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor 7, E minor 7 flat 5, D major 7, G add 9. All right, what else do we have? We have the bridge and we have the final verse. And there's another chord substitution for the A7. That's that little note. I'll show you in just a second. For the bridge, we have F sharp minor 7 for 4, B7 for 4, E7 for 4, and A7 for 4. So it's almost like a little break from how wild the verses are. For these A7s, you could also try 0, 1, 2, 0, sort of an A13. So we're going to have the regular A7 chord, and then you're going to add the second fret E string. So it's like a really, really funky sounding alternative. Anyway, you could try it and see if you like it. And then we're going to play that set of chords 2 times. So I'm going to play these chords with a down strum like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp minor, B7, E7, A7. And you play that 2 times through to play the whole bridge. The final verse, the first line is the same as the first 2 verses. On the second line, we have E minor 7 for 4, E minor 7 flat 5 for 4. Then we have D major 7 for 4, F sharp minor 7 flat 5 for 2, and B7 for 2. We play that line 2 times. And then we're going to end the song with these 3 bars. We have E minor 7 for 4, G add 9 for 2, and A7 for 2, and then D major 7 to end the song. So I'm going to play through these chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, C sharp, C, C sharp, D. Going up to that 5th fret, Second line, E minor 7, E minor 7 flat 5, D major 7, and going back up to the 5th fret, B7. Do that again, that line again. E minor 7, flat 5, D major 7, F6, 5th fret, E minor 7, G add 9, A7, D major 7. So we are going to walk through all of it together right now. I'm going to keep strumming 1, 2, 3, 4 just for consistency throughout this play along. But when you are playing it on your own, you might just stop on a chord and not do the marching strum, that down, 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 down. For example, this very first line. I couldn't resist him. His eyes were like yours. Like, you don't always have to be so literal with that 1, 2, 3, 4 down strum. One more little performance and arrangement note. The vocal style and the melody of the song are very freeform. There's a lot of room for interpretation. You might sing it quite differently than Amy does with the runs and the little ornamentations that she does. The chords are placed over the lyrics how Amy sings it. I might change up some things and change the rhythm of the melody sometimes, entirely subconscious if I do it, if it seems like the chords aren't accurate to the lyrics. That's why, because I'm doing me and you should do you. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I couldn't resist him. His eyes were like yours. His hair was exactly the shade of brown. He's just not as tall, but I couldn't tell. It was dark and I was lying down. You are everything. He means nothing to me. I can't even remember his name. Why you so upset? Baby, you weren't there. And I was thinking of you when I came. What did you expect? You left me here alone. I was so drunk and needed your touch. Don't overreact. I pretended he was you. You wouldn't want me to be lonely. How can I put it so you understand? I didn't let him hold my hand, but he looked like you. Yes, he looked like you. No, he wasn't you, but you can still trust me. This ain't infidelity. It's not cheating. You are on my mind. Yes, he looked like you, but I heard love is blind. That's it, everybody. I hope you liked this lesson. If you liked it, click like. You could share with somebody who might also be interested in learning this song, and I will see you next time with another lesson. Peace out. Happy strumming and stay funky. Bye-bye.